I never skip resistance training on a GLP-1. And after what the data shows, you should not either. The muscle loss problem is real, it is measurable, and most people on these drugs do not know it is happening. Here is the number that changes the conversation. About 30 to 40% of the weight you lose on a GLP-1 is lean mass, not fat. That figure comes from multiple body composition studies, including a 2024 JAMA internal medicine trial and a large 2025 retrospective analysis of DEXA scans from GLP-1 patients. Lean mass includes muscle, bone, and water. The muscle component is the biggest concern. Why does this matter? Because lean mass drives your metabolism. Every pound of muscle burns about 6 calories per day at rest. Fat burns about 2. When you lose muscle, your resting metabolic rate drops. That makes it harder to maintain your weight loss. It also affects strength, function, and fall risk, especially in older adults. The mechanism is straightforward. GLP-1 drugs create a caloric deficit by reducing appetite. When you eat less, your body breaks down stored tissue for energy. Ideally, that stored tissue is mostly fat. But without sufficient protein intake and a stimulus to maintain muscle, your body catabolizes muscle tissue too. The drug does not target muscle specifically. The problem is that the default weight loss state, reduced intake without resistance stimulus, is muscle wasting. A 2025 study in the New England Journal of Medicine looked at body composition changes across semaglutide, tirzepatide, and lifestyle intervention. Semaglutide patients lost about 39% lean mass as a proportion of total weight lost. Tirzepatide patients lost about 42%. Lifestyle-only patients lost about 26%. The GLP-1 groups lost more total weight, but also more muscle per pound lost. That higher lean mass ratio on GLP-1s likely reflects the speed of weight loss. When you lose weight fast, your body does not have time to preferentially oxidize fat. It burns whatever is available, including muscle. Slower weight loss preserves more lean mass. But GLP-1s are effective partly because they accelerate weight loss. There is a tension there. What can you do about it? The evidence points to 3 interventions with the strongest data. First, protein. 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight daily. For a 90-kilogram person, that is about 108 to 135 grams per day. Most GLP-1 patients are eating far less than this because their appetite is suppressed. This is the core paradox. You need more protein at exactly the time you least feel like eating. Protein shakes, Greek yogurt, eggs, and lean meat become essential, not optional. A 2025 meta-analysis found that GLP-1 patients who hit 1.2 grams per kilogram or higher lost about 8% less lean mass than those below that threshold. Second, resistance training. 2 to 3 sessions per week. Progressive overload. Not walking, not yoga. Actual strength training with sufficient load to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. The JAMA internal medicine trial showed that patients who resistance trained during semaglutide treatment lost about half as much lean mass as those who did not. That is a large effect. Third, consider your rate of weight loss. If you are losing more than 1 to 2 pounds per week after the first month, you may be losing too much lean mass. Some clinicians recommend slower dose titration for patients who are losing weight very rapidly. There is no one-size-fits-all number, but the trend matters. There is also a pharmaceutical approach in development. Bimagrumab, an antibody that blocks myostatin signaling, showed promise in a phase 2 trial for preserving muscle during GLP-1 treatment. Patients on bimagrumab plus semaglutide gained lean mass while losing fat mass. The trial was small, but the effect was striking. Novartis licensed the asset to Scholar Rock, and phase 3 trials are being designed. This is not available yet, but it points to where the field is heading. The bottom line: if you are on a GLP-1 and not lifting weights and not tracking protein, you are almost certainly losing more muscle than you need to. The scale looks good. Your body composition may not. Start the habits now, not after you have lost the weight. During. Talk with your clinician before making any medication changes. For plain language GLP-1 updates, visit theglpspot.com.